Hey everybody, welcome if you are new to the channel, welcome back if you are a subscriber. Today we're in the 2017 Mini Clubman Cooper S. This is of course a 2-liter turbo 4 making 189 horsepower, 207 pound-feet of torque. There are 3 total engine options in this car, this one being the middle of the 3. The highest being the John Cooper Works edition, which I haven't had the pleasure of driving, but maybe sometime in the future. Anyways, before we get out on the road, let's go check out the exterior and talk about it. So this Clubman Cooper S is brought to us by First International Auto Group out of Merrimack, New Hampshire. This specific example has 42,000 miles on it and is listed on their site just under $15,000 US. Of course, we have these beautiful LED daytime running lights up here in the front, that ever so classic Mini Cooper styling for that front end. And then of course on the side profile, we do have some chrome that runs across the bottom of the windows there and of course on the door handles. But then we just have these standard 10-spoke wheels, which pair to the car pretty well. And this beautiful gray color, which I do think blends that bottom plastic that runs, the entire body of the car. I think in the lighter colors, it doesn't look as good. This gray is definitely the color that I would choose. So in the back here, as you can see, we have these split 2-door trunk. And so to open these, you actually go to the right-hand side first, and then you can open the left. And basically it's a dual, open trunk, which is pretty interesting. I haven't seen many cars with that type of setup. We have seats that fold down here. We have some extra cargo room on the sides. Pardon my jacket and my stuff. But yeah, plenty of room in the hatch. Gives you an added practicality. And of course, this little shade here, which locks into place. So when you close these doors, completely hides your stuff there. So sitting behind myself in the back seats of this Clubman, I do have about an inch of legroom for my knees. And then I would say I have 2 inches of headroom. So not too shabby. It is a little cramped back here, but you have the added bonus of the shade with the dual split, panoramic sunroof. So you do have the perk of the added sunlight into these back seats. And then you also do have some little pouches here and then vents on the side. We can't unfortunately control the climate back here. But so if you are looking for more room, they do offer the Countryman, which gives you a little bit more room in the back, a little bit more room up front, overall a larger footprint of a vehicle, and a little bit extra ride height. So with the Clubman, there's not only 3 engine options, but there's also 2 different transmission options, as well as 2 different drive types. So as standard, these come front-wheel drive. We have the all-4 model, which as you can already kind of predict, is the all-wheel drive Clubman, which is definitely nice to have up here in New England with just the amount of snow we get. And then as far as transmissions, you can either get the Clubman in the 6-speed manual or the 8-speed automatic, which we have here today. I personally would really like to see what it's like to drive a 6-speed manual Clubman. That seems like a good time, especially with the John Cooper Works model. I think that would be kind of the sweet spot where you have the most powerful engine option and you have the 6-speed manual. So regarding interior impressions, as you can see, things are a little retro in here. We have some pretty circular analog gauges for our tachometer and speedometer. We have this nicely designed wheel, which does kind of curve to your hands. And then on the right hand side, you can see we have this beautiful infotainment screen with navigation. We do not have Apple CarPlay, but we do have Bluetooth integration, so you can at least connect your phone, play your music with no problem. You just won't have that Apple CarPlay interface. So although I really do like how this interior is designed with these switches, especially for the start-stop and the auto start-stop off and the traction control, then the added switches up here, I think that's just a very overall cool thing that you don't see in many cars. I will say it just kind of feels like very heavy plastic in here, right? We have like this cheap plastic on the dashboard. All our buttons are, fairly low quality besides those switches. And you just do hear a little bit of a creak and a rattle here and there within this interior as we go over these road imperfections. So this 8-speed automatic does have the option to shift itself. You can throw it in manual mode, give a quick downshift by pushing forward, upshift by going backwards. We don't have paddle shifters on the wheel, so that's really the only way you're going to be able to control the transmission in this Clubman. As far as these seats go, they are leatherette. They're fairly nice. They're very contorted to your body. Like, they kind of hold you in like they're sport seats. They're not quite buckets, though. They do have some plushness for you there. There's definitely a good amount of comfort in here. Though my one criticism is we have heated seats for the front, but we don't have electronic adjustments. They're all strictly manual. And it's a little hard to get fully comfortable in here. I would like the seat to go a little lower. I feel like the ride height is just not quite there for me. As far as our steering wheel adjustments, on the left-hand side we have our cruise control, and then on the right-hand side we have volume. We of course have these little arrows here, which will allow you to skip track. And then we have voice commands and then a button to hang up and take calls. All right, so let's stop and check out this backup camera, shall we? So throw it into reverse. So you do just have like a general backup camera, not very high resolution. You can see where your wheel is pointed, so it moves that way, right? And then it also has a suggestion on how you would shape your wheel to back out. So it does kind of give you some guides on reversing, though if someone was next to me, I wouldn't cut my wheel that much. And then we do have parking sensors, which is pretty cool. You can see, you get notified if there's some cross traffic there or somebody behind you. So that is an added safety function. So as far as drive modes, we do have two. On the bottom here next to our lever, we have Sport. Let's motor hard, it says. We have mid mode, which is just normal. And then we have green mode, which says let's minimalize. That's great, guys. Love the marketing. We'll throw it in sport mode for now. I do feel like the car kind of comes to life when you throw it in sport mode. I think one thing they would do that would be pretty cool is if this just kind of glowed red when you put it into sport mode, just kind of giving you a different feel, especially because we have analog gauges, which I do like, but modern cars have the gauge clusters that change designs based on the drive mode you're in, which I always think that's pretty cool. All right, let's throw it into manual mode. Give it a couple downshifts. So not full throttle there. Want to be very easy on the Clubman here. I know that Minis tend to have some maintenance issues and wouldn't want to go breaking the car that's not mine, right? But it does sound pretty good. Very throaty 4-cylinder. These 2-liter inline 4 cylinders, of course this is a BMW engine, so we have driven a lot of, different cars with this engine setup. It sounds good. Steering feels pretty tight in sport mode, though it is a little bit vague in terms of exactly where your tires are pointed, and there's a slight delay there. But overall, I do like how it steers. It definitely kind of mimics more of a sedan rather than a hatchback, for instance. But that's really the perk of having, kind of like a wagon. You wouldn't necessarily call this like a hot hatch, but it is pretty fun to shift yourself in this car, especially with all that exhaust feedback. All right, give it a downshift. this thing is fun, honestly. It's a pretty good time. And I think if this thing had a 6-speed manual, that would really complete the formula in my mind, right? And honestly, you don't need the John Cooper Works engine. This 2-liter 4-cylinder with 197 horsepower, 207 pound-feet of torque works pretty well, especially considering this thing is fairly light. And so although you're not receiving a very refined driving experience with these minis, it's fun, it's engaging, you get good exhaust note feedback, you have a 8-speed automatic that's still fairly fun to shift. It would be a sweet spot if you had some paddle shifters, but at the very least there is a 6-speed manual option with these. And the interior is fun. It's designed to be kind of like whimsical and provide a little bit of fun into everybody's lives, especially if you're daily driving one of these. I think that would be a good time. But this definitely opens my eyes to driving, the Mini Coopers. I haven't really had the opportunity to drive many Minis in my life. To be honest, I think this is the first, maybe second Mini product I've ever taken out on the road. And I definitely like their earlier cars, but, this one being a 2017, I think people have kind of, been turned off from the Mini brand ever since they were bought by BMW. I could be wrong. There's definitely still a small enthusiast group for these, but that might just be with the earlier cars. Definitely let me know if you own a Mini and what you think about it. Let me know if you've ever driven the Clubman or if maybe you just have a Cooper. Let me know in the comments. I'll tell you though, the one thing I really don't like about the controls of this Mini is the blinker, which of course is the same BMW blinker. And when you're changing lanes, it honestly requires 2 inputs. One to turn it on, and then another small tap to shut it off, which I think is just so annoying. You can't do like a small tap and it'll only stay on for a moment. It'll basically just on or off. Yeah, so over these harsh road imperfections, this thing is definitely a little rough. I will say that the suspension setup is definitely going to be a little better in the Countryman and probably a little worse in the Cooper off of the difference in wheelbase. But so this Clubman is kind of the middle child in the Mini Cooper lineup. And yes, I still say Mini Cooper because this is a Mini Clubman Cooper S. So you have kind of like that Cooper name still in there. And the cars definitely all share very similar styling, very similar interior feel, and share some of the same parts, of course. But I do think this Clubman is a nice spot if you want the back seats, but you still want to have a little fun. Definitely has good engine sound, good steering feel, and has some added options such as the sunroof, the nice backup camera, the navigation built in. We don't have Apple CarPlay, so if you did want that, you gotta seek a newer model. But at the very least, you'll hook up your phone via Bluetooth, or maybe seek out an aftermarket setup where you can get Apple CarPlay in this 2017. Alright, so we still have audio, but my GoPro just died. Anyways, to wrap up this video, thank you all for watching. Definitely consider this Mini Clubman from First International Auto Group. It is a nice car. I still wouldn't recommend buying one unless you are ready to, kind of take responsibility for that maintenance. Mini Coopers are just kind of known for having reliability issues, but that might change if you kind of put the time to put maintenance into these things up front instead of trying to let everything just kind of pile on over time, and maybe find a good, secondhand shop that will do the maintenance for you. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.